think just probably lay brother, just because of my relationship with him. I think it sort of emphasizes that he's sort of asserting his authority once again, that I'm the subordinate here, and I'll use all my kind of subservient goodwill that I've built up.
So, in other words, you're not doing any challenging. You're treating this as a hierarchical discussion.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to not directly challenge, no, but sort of use my position. Yeah, let him be who he is, to try to get him to not feel so conflicted about this, or to kind of come around to my side a little bit instead of entrench himself. Yeah. No.
Well, this is 2 dice.
Okay.
If I can't figure it out, then it's 2.
Yeah, it's a good default. Okay, I'll take 2 dice from my pool of 4 and give that a shot. And I got 1.
All right.
And I will also take the die.
Okay.
On this one. Oh yeah.
Well, I'll keep it fairly simple, which is that he will find a way to he'll it's mostly a matter of steadfastness. He will invoke that we will all be steadfast in our seeking, the virtue. But so, in other words, he's not going to denounce you. He's not going to denounce the militancy, or at least he's not going to denounce the Diegueños, who are objecting about the land and stuff. He is going to, however, promote a much more. You see, this is actually working with you because you wanted to play it kind of cool, right? That's what you proposed. And so, at least what he's saying is compatible with that. Without actually overturning anything, that you are facilitating. So, like, for example, calling the army and telling them Cristobal's here.
Right. It's what he says is interpretable depending on how you want to interpret it.
Well, it's not. Yeah, well, that's true, but it's not. It's very much we will do the right thing and we will be strong when we do it.
Okay.
So that's the line that he's going to be taking over the next days. And also he straightens up and flies right. There's no more trembling, there's no more quavering, there's no more brooding. He puts his head up and his chin down, and he's Padre Ayala again.
Okay.
So that has happened. As opposed to, for example, retiring to his little closet and refusing to eat until he dies, which was kind of a possibility, given however you wanted to handle that. So, okay, with that, one other thing before I finally get back to Christopher. Sorry for the wait. Which is that. A rider, or rather a visitor from a ranch down south, has ridden into San Diego with several others whom he's collected on the way, friends or helpers, people he knew. A Diegueño from just a little bit down south of Tijuana, who is, through these friends and acquaintances, well acquainted with these Diegueños, with those of the mission, and his name is Javier, and he does not ride in looking for Padre Ayala or any of the priesthood. He rides in looking for Cristobal, to make life easy. The two of you are probably counting the money. making little piles. Okay, this is going to be for this. This is going to be for that. So the two of you are engaged in very unmission-like activities at the moment. And when somebody pounds, on the wooden door of the adobe wall, right, bang, 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 the first thing the two of you probably do, I'm guessing, is grab some kind of sheet,
Yeah.
whip it up, and put it over all the money.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Start with,
Right.
yeah.
And this fellow comes in. His name's Javier. He is beaten to shit. I mean, he's probably injured. He's desperate. He's exhausted. He's aided, by a couple of people who look to be in slightly better shape. And he's gasping out. He's like, "They did it. They did it. They burned it. They burned us out. It's Cristobal. It's the." And Cristobal said, "They disobeyed me. The Malero Ranch was safe, off limits." And Javier says, "Not us. It wasn't us. It wasn't the Diegueños." And Serrano is probably puzzled. Why are we talking about this ranch?
Mhm.
Why is Cristobal, who, as far as you're concerned, has been perfectly happy to, destroy any Californio's ranch, absolutely distraught. I mean, he just loses it.
Mhm.
And is furious. He's what happens to him? Where's Senor Malero? And Javier is like, I don't know. I'm sorry, lo siento. He's probably dead. Probably dead with his old father. Probably dead with his wife if she's not been, he crosses himself. And Cristobal he just goes cold, like pale, cold.
Mhm.
Pale. All the firebrand is gone. He's just like suddenly pure ice. And he turns to you and he says, "I have to go."
Where?
"I have to." And he kind of sighs a little and he says, "I have to keep my word. I have to go to the Malero Ranch. I have to see. We have to know who destroyed it." And Javi is like, "It's Obispo and it's the other ranchers." And he says, That's where I'm going."
Cristobal, think on this. Will this help the mission? Our mission? Will this help the plan?
He says, I have no choice. It might or it might not. I have no choice. He was the only one of you. I would not be here with this, pointing at the table,
Mhm.
if it were not for this man and his honor. If he lives, if any of his family lives, I save them. If any of them are dead, I will avenge them. And he says, if I have to, I go alone. But I ask you, help me organize. Use this. Arm us.
If 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 what we have here is due to these people and you need to do this, I understand. I will help you, but Elvio, Ruben, They will not come with you.
He nods and he says, only hardened men for this. This is no game.
I nod.
So and he looks at you and he says, so you're coming. I mean, not like an order. I mean, so in that case, yes, of course not your son,
Yeah.
but see you there,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good place to cut it. If you want, I mean, yeah, and I could, off screen or whatever, the intention that okay, sure.
Yeah, I think his reasoning in this is not just to get you into the action for being a player character.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's a fine thing if we want to do it. But what I have in mind more is that I think that he is trusting you, right? I mean, since you got sort of the church on his side, I think he's, in fact, twice now you've done this. You have 2 roles now. So I think he's realizing that you've been perhaps unknowingly elected into generalship. Right? So that's probably in his mind. Whatever they did first, you would be coming along.
Yeah.
So okay. So Christopher, I have a slightly better idea. You mentioned that she was actually from a fairly kind of maybe I tend to think of her as being somewhat more aristocratic in attitude, right? And so I think
some reasons,
right.
Me too.
I think actually that this ranch is almost more of a getaway than it's not a subsistence ranch. It's not like most of these ranches where people live. Your father probably lives in San Diego and comes and stays at the ranch for some of the time. And so it's small, it's well maintained. It may have a deal, I think, with Rancho Tijuana, some sort of deal with it so that it partakes of that business and is partly maintained by it. And it's on a really, really pretty green hill. So it's got a nice, it's a limited area, but it's a real picturesque spot. That's kind of what I have in mind.
Yeah.
And it probably has like a really, like a really big picture in the living room of the first president of Mexico. So it's a place. I'm thinking it probably has nice furniture and stuff like that. So okay, and your father is not as old as your husband's father, but he's let himself get very comfortable, put on a lot of weight, and very and is actually quite we'll tell you we're safe here. I mean, some of these army boys are here to protect us. They patrol the perimeter. You should see them in their uniforms. They the Rancho Tijuana has organized this. We're safe from the those marauding rebels. And as I say, he's completely without until you tell him otherwise. He's pretty sure the Diegueños came and burned you out just like they did that those other ranches out to the east. Yeah. So they're here at last. It's a good thing that we've got the army on our side.
Well, Father, I see you have been doing well for yourself. I nod and sit down. And it was not the Dieguenos, it was our neighbors, the Obispos. I know you never really approved of my husband and his morals and his thinking, but he upset them in some way, and they attacked us this night. I don't know if anyone survived. We got away and got chased by his brute, the Gutierrez, and I didn't know where to go, but here.
This is he's, very Dios mío. This is amazing. Okay, they're there. You're safe here. The children are safe here. The army will protect us from the Dieguenos. But I don't really understand. Weren't all of the ranches going to be weren't all of the ranches going to be collecting in some kind of group?
I think along my husband got in his mind to try to get the smaller ranches to go together against the Bispos that wanted to buy him out. He has offered to buy us out for a number of times, but we needed some way to resist him. When I look around and look at the big picture of the president and all the fine furniture, and not everyone has the ways to resist the neighbors.
He says, well, I mean, this I never liked this Obispo, or any of. He kind of, he says this is lawless. I mean, this is banditry. It's I'll tell the lieutenant here. I'll tell the lieutenant here, and they'll go and take care of those. They'll establish law and order right away.
You really think so? I think we need to go. I think we need to go back soon. Ourselves. My husband is probably lying dead or dying at this very moment. I need some men. And I need you to take care of the children.
His world goes this way, along this line, along that track, in this logical path, and you just went that way. So he visibly struggles with what you just said. Doesn't make any sense on my track.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of, and he just can only look at you and say, you want to go back?
It's our land. It's Cesar and Antia's land. Right? Or at least it has been.
He says, yes, that's true. That's true. But the army can restore order, and we can take this to the courts in San Diego, and we can.
And how do you think my husband's body will look when the court has been through this? I want to go there as soon as possible, and I want to if he's dead, I want to bury him on that piece of land. And if not, then I want to save him. But I think he's dead. That was, yes, I can't describe it for you, Father.